Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and thanks for joining me. I definitely appreciate it. Now you've probably seen this review a lot in the last couple months or so. This is the NOVE Trident 200 meter quartz diver, and it has a distinction of being the thinnest diver in the world. I don't know if that's actually true or not. It probably is. This watch is incredibly thin, but I don't know if it actually holds like the record for thinnest, quartz diver on the planet. It might, you never know. Anyway, this is model E009-02. It's kind of like a cobalt blue IP coating. I think it's pretty cool looking. Now, as usual, we're gonna open this thing up, look at the style, the build quality, the functions, wearability, and lume. There's not much of it, by the way. And then I'll let you know what I think of this really, really skinny diver from NOVE, or NOVE, depending on how you want to, pronounce it. Anyway, also make sure you check out my Amazon shopping channel if you like this or any of my other watches I've reviewed on my channel. I do get a small commission if you buy from my Amazon store, so I definitely appreciate it. Now, I reviewed a NOVE or NOVE, I don't know, I'll have to look it up, maybe 6 months ago or a year ago. And I like that one, really, really interesting watch. And they're doing some really cool things over there. They're kind of pushing the design envelope a lot with a lot of their watches, which I definitely appreciate. To be, innovative in the watch world is kind of hard because, you think about it, a lot of, things have already been invented, like the power reserve indicator or something cool that, you really like about the watch that's really functional, it's really helpful. And this thing is just, I think they really did it just for fun and to see if they could do it. So anyways, open this thing up. Here's the watch box. You get like a little clamshell here. Maybe not the most luxurious presentation from, probably what a lot of people would think is a pretty expensive watch. And I'll tell you what it cost here in a little bit. Again, maybe it could kind of up their presentation game just a tad. But I mean, it's nice, it's functional, it does what it's supposed to do. It's got a lot of foam in here to protect the watch, which I do like. You got a microfiber cleaning cloth right there. You got your, looks like a manual and a warranty little pamphlet back here. There you go. Swiss made. Always like to see that. Let's go ahead and dig this thing out here. And they really buried it in there. All right. There you go. There's your first little peek of the color. Man, I like that color a lot. Really interesting. I've never seen a watch in this color, nor have I ever seen anything IP coated in this color. So I'm also guessing that's why it's the most expensive version of this watch. There we go. Yeah, it's kind of heavy. For being really thin, it's actually surprisingly heavy. I mean, not like crazy heavy, but you definitely know you have something on your wrist. I'll go ahead and put up the specs on the left-hand side of the screen. Then we'll talk about this thing, man. All right. Cool looking watch. All right, you're looking at a 46 millimeter stainless steel case. Now, as advertised, it is 6.8 millimeters thin. Look at that thing, man. Crazy. It's 49 millimeters lug to lug. It's on a 22 millimeter stainless steel bracelet. You do get a sapphire crystal with AR coating. Water resistance is 200 meters, which is 660 feet. It's got a Ronda 1062 Slim Tech quartz movement. They're saying the power reserve is about 6 years. More than likely, it's probably about 4 to 5, if even that, depending on, kind of how you use the watch and its, temperature, environment, that type of thing. You get a screw-in case back, not a screw-down case back, and I'll show you that a little bit later. You do have a signed screw-down crown over here at 3 o'clock. I'll talk about that later. You don't get a date. You don't get a day. Of course, it's not windable. It's not an automatic watch. It is hackable. Even though the fact that it is hackable, there is no second hands, so you can't really, so is it really hackable? I don't know, it's kind of up to you. You do have Super Luminova. It's got a 60 click unidirectional bezel, which is one of the really cool features of the watch, and I'll show you that later as well. And it is made in Switzerland. So a lot to talk about. Let's go ahead and talk about, I guess, just the thinness. Look at that, man. Nothing protrudes above the bezel. So that crystal is just as flat as it can be. You don't have any chapter ring inside of there. All of the indexes are basically on the dial. Now, for this to be a legit dive watch, and NOVE, they might want to think about this in the future. It needs a few things. One, it needs lume all over these indexes. It needs a second hand. It needs lume on the bezel. It'd be nice if the actual numbers on the bezel were lumed as well. You need more knurling on this crown, even though it is a screw-down crown. It's a little bit hard to screw in and unscrew just because there's no knurling on it. So for it to be like a legit dive watch, you need some of those things on here. But the bezel itself is really cool. I think they're kind of going for like a trident look. A trident has those 3 spears. So you've got 3 I guess, I don't know, what do you call them? Mechanisms to control the bezel. I don't know if they were kind of going for that on purpose. They probably were. But anyway, let me go ahead and show you the click action. Great click action, but the bezel itself is also not knurled. Or there's no like coin edge on it, so it's a little bit hard to turn. Not too bad. You've got these big bumps right here, like every other number. So it's not too bad, but it could be a little bit easier. Great click action though, man. Really nice click action. There's also no markings for like 12 to 15 for like a true diver. Right here. Actually, I take that back. I just lied to you. I'm sorry. I just noticed them. There they are, right there. Actually, I think these go to 20. Yep, I'm sorry. They go to 20. So I take that back. Good job, Novi. So anyway, I mean, I like the overall color a lot. Again, it needs all those other things to be like a legit diver. It's really more of like a dive style watch, a little bit more of a fashion watch than a dive watch, even though it is, you know, water resistant to 200 meters, which is, you know, pretty impressive, man. Again, super flat. It wears really nicely on the wrist, surprisingly. I think they really achieved something here. It's pretty cool. And if they, you know, added all of those other features to the watch, they could really, really have a runaway hit on their hands. They might be selling a ton of these already. Who knows? It does feel very substantial, nice and heavy, not too bad, like I said. You've even got crown guards. I just noticed that too. You even got some crown guards right there around the crown. But this crown definitely needs some knurling on it. It's really hard to. In fact, let me go ahead and unscrew it. It does have a nice crown pop to it. See, I can't tell if I unscrewed this thing yet. There you go. I just felt it. So there you go. Of course, you pop it out one position. It's only position. There we go. All right, there you go. So, you know, another thing, you don't have any lume on any of the indexes, and they probably couldn't have done that correctly, or any applied indexes, just because it is so, you know, so thin. And again, there's no chapter ring to give it any sort of depth. Man, if they could figure out a way to do that with the next, you know, generation of this, that would be awesome. That would be really cool if they could do that. All right, what time is it? 7:08. Let's go ahead and put the 7:10. I'll go ahead and push it back in. Let's screw it back down. All right. It's a little hard to get a hold of that crown, man. Plus the fact it's just so dang small. It's really, really small. See if I can screw it in. All right, there we go. So, I mean, I like the fact they've also kind of like semi-polished all the numbers around the bezel. That's pretty cool. Watching the actual mechanism work is really neat. Now you can see around the crystal, I guess that's where they kind of, it comes up and it wraps and it's clamped down. I guess some sort of case back or something. You can see these little lines right here. It's like it's not stamped, but I don't know the word I'm looking for. It's like it's coming up and it's grabbing it, and I guess that's what's holding the crystal down on the dial. Interesting looking, man. Really cool. So let's go ahead and look at the bracelet. Really like the bracelet. Nice quality bracelet. The links almost fold on themselves. Almost. One gripe I do have about the bracelet is it only closes one way. Also the fact that it's a butterfly clasp, which just drives me nuts, but it only closes one way. So you got to make sure to, you know, close this side first, and then the side with the NOVE logo second. I've already done it where I've tried to close this side first, the one with the NOVE logo, and then tried to close this side on top of it, and it just doesn't work. So there you go. So make sure you close this side first, then the side with the logo on it. So nice looking bracelet, really comfortable, and I'll try it on here in a second. Let's go ahead and look at the case back. Again, this is a screw-in case back. You got 4 screws there. How they're able to do this and make it 200 meters water resistant, well, they do it with G-Shocks all the time. So I guess, there's a way to do it, plenty of gaskets and stuff in there. But you got 4 screws, you got your NOVE logo, Swiss made, Trident, and actually I think it gives you the serial number there, sapphire crystal, it's got a little sticker on it right now. But I mean, it feels like a very, very well-built watch. I'm pleasantly surprised. I mean, it definitely feels like a quality timepiece, guys. So don't worry about the build quality. I mean, it's made in Switzerland. What do you expect? So let's go ahead and close. Actually, let's go ahead and try this thing on real quick. And it does wear a little big. I hate these butterfly clasps. It does wear a little bit big on the wrist. I mean, it's not a small watch. So it is a little, a tad bit big. I mean, I think if they could maybe shrink it down just a little bit to maybe like a 44, that's about as big as I would go with this particular watch. But I love the color, really unique color. You just don't see that color too much. Kind of got like a satin finish all over the links. I like that NOVE logo right there. I mean, it's a good looking watch, man. And that mechanism is really nice. And you got some really nice polishing where that, I don't know, that backing is kind of holding that sapphire crystal down. There you go. Got some nice polishing right there where my fingernail is. I really do wish they had just loomed it a little bit more. And I'm not normally a big fan of extra writing, but maybe put 200 meters water resist underneath here, you know, underneath Swiss made, or actually above Swiss made. But I mean, it feels great. It is just a tad bit heavy, but you're not really going to notice it. You're just going to notice you have a nice watch on your wrist. It's definitely got a little bit of weight to it, which is nice. It's not all, you know, super, super light and flimsy. Let's go ahead and undo this thing. If it wants to pop off here, there we go. And I'm really impressed with this watch. I didn't think I was going to be, but I'm really actually impressed with this watch. Man, these butterfly clasps are the bane of my existence. Ugh, can't stand them. All right, let me go ahead and kill the studio light. Go ahead and kill the monitor. Let's go ahead and zap this thing. Now, only the hour and minute hand have any lume on them. You can see it glowing a little bit right now. It's actually pretty dark in here, so this should show off the lume pretty good. There you go, not bad. Now, if you look, they're almost the same length. Of course, the hour hand is a little bit fatter than the minute hand, but not bad, man. The lume's pretty decent. All right, let's go ahead and cut everything back on. So guys, my overall impressions of this watch, again, a little bit more of a fashion watch than a true diver, and they're not trying to bill it as a legitimate diver. If you want a legitimate diver, you know, get a Seiko, get a Citizen, you know, get one of the 3 million different, you know, Swiss brands if you want a legitimate diver. But I mean, I think it's a nice technical achievement from a micro brand. I think their engineers did a fantastic job with just the engineering alone. The aesthetics, they could, you know, probably tweak a few things, you know, like the things I said before. Some people are not going to like this blue. I think it looks really cool, and I like it. I think it would have been nice if they just put out an all stainless steel version. They've got quite a few versions of these watches. Let me take a look here real quick, how many different colorways they have of this thing. They've got quite a few of them. So they've got quite a few colorways of this watch. I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 different colorways of this one. This one being the most expensive. This one, and there's another one that's got some black IP coating on the bezel. Same color, dial and bracelet, just black IP coating on the bezel and the dial. And they don't have just an all stainless steel version. Well, they do, but it's got gold on the hands and gold on the bezel mechanism, which I still think looks pretty cool. But again, this one's $530, but if you want to use my coupon code, use the coupon code MR20, and that's going to give you 20% off your entire order. So basically, that puts a $530 watch at $424, and that's also with free worldwide shipping. I'll make sure to put that link in the description field for you, and if you want to head on over to NOVE's website and pick one of these things up, I think it's a cool watch, man. I think it's really neat how they, you know, engineered this thing. I'm sure it was not easy to figure all this out. Battery life, again, I wouldn't think 6 years, maybe 4 or 5, probably more like 3 or 4, but you never know. But anyway, man, a really neat looking watch, guys, and having the distinction of being the world's thinnest dive watch. Again, you might want to look that up. You know, it's probably true, but you might want to look it up. You just never know. I mean, 6.8 millimeters, that's crazy thin for anything. Especially, you know, a dive watch that's 200 meters water resistant. So I think they did a fantastic job. Head on over there and pick one up if you like it. Again, 10 different colorways. And, you know, the coupon code brings it down to $424, which is really cool. So guys, as always, make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you click that notification bell. I definitely appreciate it when you do that. With the coronavirus stuff going on, I don't know how many watches I'm going to be able to review in the next month or so. I'm going to try to get as many as I can. So you might see a little bit of a gap between, you know, reviews, like maybe a week and a half between each review. I'll see what I can do, but things are starting to tighten up a little bit. I don't think it's going to last, you know, for a very long time, maybe a month or so, who knows. But I'll try to get out as many reviews as I can for you. Luckily, I have a couple watches already ready to go, so I have a couple more reviews for you at least in the next couple weeks. So anyway, make sure you check out the NOVE Trident 200 meter quartz diver. And again, this is model number E009-02, and I will see you guys on the next review. Look at that, that rhymed. All right, take care, bye-bye.